This is John Pluta of GeorgiaBees.com in Millersville, Georgia. It's 2 days before Christmas, and I'm fixing to process some comb honey real quick. It's 30 degrees, so it's not the best time of the year to be doing this, but we have a lot of people wanting comb honey for the holiday presents. This is for the small hobbyists, and I do it on a larger scale. But what you can do is use a metal queen excluder. This happens to be an 8 frame, and it works really good on these half pans from Walmart. I use these to drop pollen in. These are about $10, and by using a clean pan and a queen excluder and a good little strong knife, I'll show you how to process some comb honey real quick. What I'm going to do is all my comb honey supers, I always mark on the center frames where I raise my comb honey at. Here's one that's not too bad. I prefer the deep box, these 6 5/8 inch frames. I really don't like the shallow frames. The 6 5/8 gives you a little leeway. What I would normally do, I use the little square plastic boxes, and you can get four nice chunks out of each frame. And what I'm going to do is to show you 2 different ways to do it. I'm going to cut out two squares, and then I'm going to make some chunk honey. I would normally cut the whole frame out at one time, but this is for demonstration purposes only, because I want to show you another way to do things. And I just let the whole chunk fall right down onto the tray to start draining. And this is not going to work as well as I thought that I wanted to, but I'm going to slide this over a little bit here. Normally, I would come and cut these squares just to the right size to fit, and then let them drain for several hours so they're nice and clean. I'm going to have a little extra piece here for my comb. Now, for the hobbyists that don't have an extractor, what you can do is to cut out and leave a little bit around the edges. Pretend this is the whole frame I'm doing this to. If you don't have an extractor, leave half an inch to 1 inch all the way around the edges, and put this back in your hive, and the bees will refill back in without you having to put new foundation in. What I now do with this here is, once they're nice and clean, or here's what I did earlier, I cut mine out completely all the way around so I can utilize my frame. I put this out in front of, around my beehives, so the bees will re-lick off and recycle all the excess honey. What the hobbyists can do is, when I first started, when I didn't have an extractor, I would take this is a glass bowl, 2.5 liters. These 4 pieces of comb would go into this bowl. Put this in a microwave, or you can do it in the oven. Let it melt down. The wax will float to the top. Let it cool as quick as possible. I haven't done this in a long time, so I don't have one. But here are some of my capping ones that come off of 5-gallon buckets. And basically, your wax will float to the top. When it cools, you lift this off, and it's pretty clear wax on top, and then you have your gunk on the bottom. These are set up in front of the hives for them to recycle also. Your remaining honey is fairly clean. For the hobbyist that just has a few hives, this is one alternative. Just assume that these are drained. I've got customers waiting outside, and so I'm going to go ahead and these just drop right in the little boxes. And when you do this, you always want to have a damp, wet rag around. And so out of this one frame, I will get 2 nice, approximately 1 pound chunks of honey. These little boxes are nice because they see each other. I will sell these as 2 1-pound chunks. Now what I'm going to do with these right here is this is how we make chunk honey. Just take some of these chunks, drop them into pint jars or the 1-pound jars. I think I'm going to do one of those today too. You can use the 1-pound queen lines on your little small slivers from around the edges, just to use up your small pieces. And you always want to charge a pretty nice premium on these chunk honeys. Now on these here, I will go ahead and just pour liquid honey around them. And I always charge a premium, a minimum of $3 to $4 per jar. And then cleanup is pretty simple. When all your honey drips down, I recycle the wax. These pans, I'll just put them right into the extractors to drain, and go from there. That's just a quick little few ideas for you, and hope that's helpful. It's nothing perfect, but for somebody that doesn't know what they want to do, those are a few ideas. John Pluta, GeorgiaBees.blogspot.com in Millersville, Georgia.